Hello, my lovelies. It is time for my November wrap-up vlog, so stay tuned. Sorry for the barking. Einstein just started barking outside for some reason. I don't know. So it is currently November 8th, and I've completed 2 books. The first book I completed was The Menagerie, Book 1 by Tui T. Sutherland and Carrie Sutherland. And this is middle grade. It's about these kids who, in their backyard, they have a secret facility, I guess, where they have all of these mythical type creatures like unicorns and griffins and things like that. And a litter of griffin cubs escapes, and they're all over the town. And another little boy that isn't part of their little group that knows about the secret, he ends up finding like one of the griffins, and so he starts helping them, and that was the gist of it. I ended up giving it only 3 stars. It was okay, but I probably won't continue the series. And then yesterday I finished The Best Laid Plans by Cameron Lund. This is a cute high school rom-com. It's about a girl who is in her senior year of high school, and they live in a small town where everybody knows everybody, and pretty much everybody's dated just about everybody, and she's really not interested in dating any of the guys in high school that she knows because she's known them all since kindergarten, and from the times of them picking their noses and making fart jokes and all that stuff. And she's just not interested in any of them. And the only boy that she's close with is her best friend, Andrew. But they've been friends literally since birth. Their moms met at Lamaze class. Then she gets this job where she's working at like a video store, and she meets the hot guy named Dean, who they call James Dean because he kind of looks like James Dean. Has a motorcycle and all of that, and she's totally like hot for him. He's a college student, and she doesn't want to admit to him that she is a virgin, and she decides to ask Andrew, who's kind of known as a player, to help her practice, and things get complicated really fast. This was cute. I gave it 4 stars. So it is November 12th, and I have completed 1 more book. Last night I finished Keeper of the Lost Cities Nightfall by Shannon Messenger, and I give this 5 stars. This is book 6 in Keeper of the Lost Cities series. And in this one, Sophie's human parents have been taken by the Neverseen, and she's trying to save them. This is such a fantastic series, and I really love the whole cast of characters, and I don't feel like I'm overwhelmed by the people in here because even though there are so many. It's fantastic. I highly, highly recommend it. Then I did start Sky Without Stars by Jessica Brody and Joanne Rendell. I got about 30 pages in and I DNF'd it. It's not for me. So this one's gonna go. So it is Friday, November 17th, and I have completed 3 more books. The first one I completed a couple of days ago, and that was That Way, Madness Lies. 15 of Shakespeare's most notable works reimagined, edited by Dahlia Adler. This one came out to being a solid 3 stars for me. Let's see. My favorites, the first one I gave, I think it was a 4 or 4.5. And that was Severe Weather Warning by Emily Wibberley and Austin Stegman Broca. It was a reimagining of The Tempest. I very much enjoyed that. And then I gave, I think, 5 stars to Partying is Such Sweet Sorrow by Kirstine White. That was a Romeo and Juliet retelling. Most of them were like 3.5 stars though. But yeah, I enjoyed this. It was cute. 3 stars. Next, I finished my Kindle book, finally, of One Iridescent Night by Brianna Wicks. and I think I'm going to give that one 4 stars. It's a Cinderella retelling. In this one, her father's not dead. Her father is actually awful, and he's abusive, like physically and verbally abusive to our main character. Her name's Evelyn, and the stepmother is just vile, and there's only one stepsister, and she can sometimes be vile, but not always. And then there's also like this love triangle, because when Evelyn was a kid, she grew up with this boy named Liam. He was a farmhand on their estate, and she loved Liam. And the day, or like the day of or the day after they had their very first kiss, Liam was taken away to join the royal guard and live at the palace, and she didn't see him again until much later. And the book starts out, she is just about getting ready to turn 18, and she's just waiting until she can be free of her father and all of this. And Liam, he's been longing for her this whole time. He has loved her. He's never really found any interest in anybody else. And one day she's out in the market, and they end up running into each other and reconnecting. And in order to see him again, there's the whole ball at the castle. But the prince ends up falling for Evelyn as well. And so there's this whole love triangle. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to continuing the series. Next, I finished How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I'm giving this one a 3.75. This was disturbing. I enjoyed it, but I kind of hope I can forget it, because I'm never going to look at a doll again the same way. So in this, it actually is quite sad. We're dealing with their parents were in an accident and they both died. And now these two siblings are having to come together and sell this house. But there's something freaky going on in this house. Their mom was a puppeteer, and there's puppets and dolls and stuff all over the place, and there's some creepy stuff going on. And I would say maybe like the first third to almost a half was these siblings just being petty and bickering nonstop. They don't get along. But once they started figuring things out, their relationship became better. But that's when things started getting more and more twisted and weird and disturbing with these puppets. And yeah, just think evil, possessed, manic puppets. So yeah, 3.75 for this one. It is Saturday, November 18th, and I've completed 2 more books. So the first book I read was Pollyanna by Eleanor H. Porter. This book is freaking precious. It's a classic, and it's about a little girl named Pollyanna who both of her parents have now passed away, and she's sent to live with her Aunt Polly. And her Aunt Polly is a grouchy woman who can't seem to find joy in anything, and is not thrilled about having a child come and live with her. But she's doing it because, you know, she's a dutiful woman, and this is her duty. And Pollyanna turns Polly and the entire town upside down with her sweetness. And she's lived not an easy life. Her mother passed away 3 years ago, and her father, who's a minister, and her were very poor, and she relied on clothes and things from these missionary barrels. And when she was very little, and she got a pair of crutches instead of the doll she wanted, she cried, and her father taught her the what to be glad for game. And from that point forward, she's always tried to find what can she be glad for, even in like the worst circumstance. So for those crutches, she could be glad that she didn't need them. And throughout her whole life, she's done this game. And so she ends up teaching a lot of people in this new town this game and helping a lot of people. And it's just freaking precious. And I give it 5 stars. Next, I completed Volume 2 from the Wizard of Oz series. This contains Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, The Road to Oz, and the Emerald City of Oz. So in Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, there's an earthquake in Kansas, and Dorothy and the Wizard fall through the earth and end up in this other land, and they're trying to make it back, to Earth, because they end up falling to like the center of the earth, and they meet all kinds of other fantastical creatures and beings, and eventually do end up making their way to Oz again, and eventually get sent home from Oz. In The Road to Oz, it is Ozma's birthday, and Ozma's like the queen of Oz. And Dorothy is helping a stranger with directions. She calls him the Shaggy Man. And she's trying to lead him down the road and tell him which direction to go. But things kind of go weird. And she's like, there's only supposed to be like 5 roads, and there's like a dozen now. And so they kind of get turned around and lost. And well, it's a road that leads to Oz. And Ozma has kind of set her on this path to make her way to Oz for her birthday party. And along the way, she meets lots of other fun characters. And then there's the big Ozma birthday party. And eventually, they go back to Kansas. And in the Emerald City of Oz, Dorothy's aunt and uncle, Em and Henry, they are getting ready to lose the farm, and Dorothy comes up with the idea of why doesn't she bring them to Oz, because she's now a princess in Oz as well, and Ozma has wanted her to come live in Oz for a long time. So she goes and asks Ozma, hey, I'll come live here, but can my Aunt Em and Uncle Henry come as well? And Ozma's like, absolutely. And they come, and they're not super happy. Like they want to try it out, and they were amazed that this is real, but they've lived their whole lives working hard, and they're not okay with being waited on and not having work to do. And so while Ozma tries to figure out a job that they can do, she sends all of them out to go meet some more of the people and go to visit some more of the lands of Oz. And there's all kinds of hijinks that arise. We find I think it's like Utensilopia or something like that, where it's like a land where it's all like talking utensil. And then there's another which was like Bunbury, and it's everything in the town is made out of bread. And even including the people. And then there was Bunnyberry, which they were all like bunnies, and it was very cute. And I enjoy it so much, and I give it 5 stars. So it is still Saturday, November 18th, and I have completed one more book. I finished Furthermore by Tahara Mafi. I'm going to give this one a 3.75 because I very much enjoyed it, but I just don't see myself reading it again in the future. But it's super cute. Our main character, Alice, she lives in a world where magic is found in color, and everybody around her has magic. And she has no color. She's completely absent of color. And, well, she does have magic, but it's not magic that really will help her. And also, her dad has gone missing. He's missing for 3 years now. And she wants to go out and find him. So that's what this was about. It was very cute. I enjoyed it. Again, 3.75. So it is Sunday, November 19th, and I've completed one more book. I finished Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This was a reread for me. First time I read it, I gave it 5 stars. Freaking loved it. Second time I read it, gave it 5 stars. Still freaking love it. And this one, the holiday special edition, there are 2 bonus chapters from Xaden's point of view. One of them is when they're sparring for that first time, and he's like disarming her and taking all her weapons, and he's got her like pinned down on the mat, and we're getting all of his thoughts during that chapter. And also Sigale, his dragon, we get her commentary as well, which was quite cute. The second one in here is right after the threshing, when the dragons are making a decision. We're getting that, like his point of view from that, and also Sigale's, and all the way up until he sees Dane kiss her. And that was cute. Anyway, 5 stars. So it is Tuesday, November 21st, and I've actually completed 6 more books, and all of those were actually completed on Sunday the 19th, when I was playing my Better Book It game. Okay, so the first thing I finished was The Candy Shop War by Brandon Mull. This is actually the wrong book. I ended up grabbing book 2 by mistake, but I read book 1. I give it 3.75. It was cute. It was some kids come across a new candy shop, and the lady that runs the candy shop, she makes some special candy that has magic abilities. So like the first candy she gives them are moon rocks, and when they suck on them, they're able to walk like they're walking on the moon, like very light gravity, things like that. So fun kind of stuff. And she will offer them these candies in return for them doing some favors for her. And the favors start out innocent enough, like passing around fudge to all the grown-ups. And then as time goes on, it becomes more and more sinister, the jobs that she's sending them doing, like grave robbing and things like that. This was really cute. I'm looking forward to continuing the series, so 3.75. Next, I read I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. This was very well written. I listened to the audiobook of it, which is narrated by Jeanette. And I'm going to give this one a 3.5. This is her story, and like growing up as a child actor, and the pressures that her mom put on her, and her battle with eating disorders and all of that. So yeah, I'm giving this one a 3.5. Then I read Poe Stories and Poems, a graphic novel adaptation by Gareth Hines. I give this one 4 stars. This is a really fun way to like experience the some of Poe's stories and poems, and I just really enjoyed it. Next, I read With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I think I gave this one 3.75 as well. This is a girl in her senior year of high school. When she was a freshman in high school, she had her first relations, and in that time, she found herself pregnant as a freshman in high school. So now it's her senior year, and she's got a 2-year-old, and she's trying to figure out what to do after high school. She's managed to continue doing her schooling, but she doesn't know what she's going to do after. And there's like she loves to cook, and there is this elective where she can for the first time ever they have an elective that's a cooking class, and this cooking class actually has a trip to Spain, and she has to like figure out how to come up with the money for that. So 3.75. Next, I read Plato and a Platypus Walk into a Bar, Understanding Philosophy Through Jokes by Thomas Cathcart and Daniel Klein. And this is a pretty short book. It's a little under 200 pages. This pretty much just explains all the different types of philosophy, and it's ridiculous, but it does a really good job of explaining it. I think I'm going to give this one, I think I said either 4 stars or 4.5. I think I said 4.5. And I actually already recommended this to Marty. I think he would very much enjoy it. It is quite funny. I laughed a lot while I was listening to it. I couldn't give this one a 5 just because at the very beginning, it was hard to wrap my brain around the things that they were saying. And I was kind of feeling dumb and thought I was going to DNF it, but that was just the very, very, very beginning. And then as it went on, it was great. Next, I finished Lumberjane's Beware the Kitten Holy graphic novel. This is volume 1, and this was super cute. Let's see, I can't remember what I rated this. Either 3.75 or 4. I think I gave this one a 3.75. I will continue with the series. I thought it was cute. And it follows a group of girls that are staying at this camp, like the summer camp. And there's supernatural beings that they have to defeat while also like earning badges and that kind of stuff. And it was cute. So this is one of the videos that I recorded with my settings messed up that ended up being muted and in slow motion. So I'm doing a little voiceover here to let you know that I read The Locket by Stacey J. And this book, it follows a girl who made a mistake. She kissed a boy that was like her best friend and was also her boyfriend's best friend, and it led to this nasty breakup. And she had, before this breakup happened, she was wearing this locket that she found of her grandmother's, and after the breakup happened, something happened with the locket which caused her to go back in time to before she ever kissed the best friend and get a redo, except every time she ends up going back for something, the world is slightly different and things get very complicated. I very, very, very much enjoyed this. I thought it was great, and I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. So those are all the books that I managed to read in November. Have you read any of them? Did you like them? Did you not? Comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!